everybody, welcome to another episode of Who Dat Weekly, featuring the Dirty Dead's finest, Mr. Jay Spires. Welcome to another pre-game preview for this Sunday's matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh man, I'm excited for this matchup, gang. I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. But first things first, we're going to cover some recent news from Saints training camp by Nick Underhill and the gang. So, we lost offensive guard Will Clapp for the season to a Liz Frank foot injury, which absolutely sucks. I'll talk about that momentarily. We also offensive guard Trevor Penning, who thankfully, lucky for him, only suffered a somewhat minor foot injury. Not as bad as Will Clapp's, but it's a minor enough injury to where he's only out for like the rest of this preseason. He might miss 1 or 2 games for this coming season, but it could be worse. It could be like poor Will Clapp, who's completely done for the season. So that's 2 guys off the line that's going to be sorely missed, unfortunately. But carrying on with the news, so Bub Memes just today was announced that he is also going to miss the rest of the season with a some kind of ankle injury of some sort. It didn't describe what exactly he had, but it's really unfortunate about Bub Memes. So let me talk about it for a second. Bub Memes, who showed, like I said, he in a previous video, he showed some promise last season, but unfortunately he hasn't made enough noise in training camp for us to be really excited about this guy. And entering this season, we had a little hope, but we were on the cautiously optimistic side of things when it comes to Bub Memes, because we saw some good things, but when he got injured, that just spelled all sorts of bad things left and right. And unfortunately, it happened again. But this time, he didn't get a chance to make it through the whole season, which really sucks for him. I'm really sorry for him. Like, that just sucks. So he's going to be gone for the rest of the season with some kind of foot ankle injury that just sealed the deal for this poor guy. So I tell you, like, sadly, it's not panning out for him with us. And I got a feeling he may be a cut candidate at this rate. So I could be wrong, but at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if he actually fails to make the team. So, but carry on. The last big news was Alontae Taylor. He's going to be missing some time with a hamstring pull. I tell you, what is with New Orleans players, whether it's football, basketball, getting freaking hamstring pulls, man? Like, do you guys not stretch your hamstrings? Come on, guys. So he's going to be missing some time, including some time in the regular season, which really sucks because we really need him out there. So that's going to be forcing some of our rookie players to go out there and take over for him, which I'm really hoping they will really develop well this preseason coming up. So, but with that being said, so that's the news from what we heard from training camp this week. Those are the most recent news of what's going on with the injury. So, like, with at least on the plus side, with Trevor Penning, he'll be coming back maybe like 2 games into the season. Alontae Taylor will be coming back as well. I don't know how long he will be out for. I'm hoping just for the rest of this month. He's got some time because we're still like 4 or 5 weeks away from the regular season starting. So hopefully by then he'll be good to go. But fingers crossed with that. So anyway, but to carry on with training camp news, so like they took it kind of light this week. Not much to report on, but I will say the trend with the quarterback battle right now is completely swinging in Tyler Shough's favor. And let me tell you, like, talk about a comeback in the making. Am I right, guys? Because in the last couple of videos, I've been saying, oh, yeah, Spencer Rattler is likely to get the starting job. Oh, yeah, he's going to do well, I think. I think he's going to beat out the rookie. Well, after Sunday, and after seeing Rattler play the way he played, now I'm not so sure if I want him to be my starter anymore. But after seeing Tyler Shough play, it made me feel a lot better how he played that day and how he performed. Like, despite the one nasty pick six and that one stupid-looking throw that he made late in that first half against the Chargers, I was overall satisfied with his performance. So, and from what I've been hearing now that in training camp, that he's been taking more first first team reps with the starters more than Rattler has been. Rattler is still getting in the mix of it because I'm sure they're like it's pretty much coming down to Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shough. Jake Haener, I'm sorry, you've been fired. So, but yeah, so it's coming down to those two now. So like we're pretty much in the runway for the finish line at this point with the quarterback battle. So I have to say, like I'm very impressed with how Tyler Shough has come out of the gates, just guns blazing and everything for that position for the quarterback spot. And I'm happy that he's actually showing some improvement because from what I've been hearing from training camp, I was feeling a little discouraged, but seeing him play on Sunday gave me a little hope. Like I said, I was very satisfied with his performance. I'm hoping he takes it up to the next level coming up very soon against the Jaguars. And I would assume he's starting against the Jaguars this coming Sunday, but we'll find out later this week when Coach Moore makes that announcement. So, with that being said, speaking of the matchup, let's go ahead and get into it. So, Jacksonville. Last season, they were absolute putrid trash. They were so bad. Like, if they were so bad, like, just imagine just maggots in your pumpkin bread. Like, you just forgot to take out the maggots and you just have maggot-filled pumpkin bread. That's basically the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, it was disgusting. So, they were just simply terrible last season. They weren't as bad as, say, the Browns or, say, the Titans, but they were still pretty bad to begin with. So, this season, they made a couple upgrades mainly in the draft, that is. So the big noteworthy one would be Travis Hunter. Now, he was kind of a surprise when the Jaguars drafted him because everybody thought the Jaguars would likely get another quarterback because they're just simply not satisfied with what's-his-face. That's Trevor Lawrence. They weren't satisfied with that. I guess they still believe in Trevor Lawrence enough. I think he might still have it, but I don't know for certain. Like last season, he was just so bad. And of course, he did get injured a few times too, so that didn't help his case at all whatsoever. So, but with that being said, Travis Hunter would be a great offensive weapon for the Jaguars. That's someone we should definitely look out for. But as we all remember, his time in Colorado, he was not only playing as a wide receiver, but also as a cornerback. So keep an eye on him while he's playing defense. Now, I would say watching out for him on defense is the least of my concerns because I saw his footage against, I think it was the... kind of embarrassing. Like, the kid just got run over left and right, man. It was terrible, bro. Like, I think if I were Travis Hunter, I'd just stick with wide receiver at this point. I really think he's just better off being the wide receiver because I think that's what he's really better at than being on defense, to be honest with y'all. So, but hey, that's up to the Jaguars. It's not up to me. It's not none of my business. I don't care. So, but with that being said, so that's a guy we definitely should look out for certain. And for the rest of the Jaguars, so I don't expect if Trevor Lawrence does play this coming game, he probably won't play more than maybe a drive or two, maybe none at all. Who knows? But I would say, the Jags played the Steelers last week. My bad, y'all. I'm thinking of some other team playing the Bills, but anyway. But going back to what I was talking about, I don't expect the team to completely play all their starters, the Jaguars that is. I don't expect that at all. I would expect they're playing their backups per usual. So let's go ahead and talk about what backups to look out for. So, excuse me. But their backups. So they have Nick Mullins, they have Seth Hennigan, and John Wolford. Trevor Lawrence did play a series last week. Okay, so he might play this week. That's interesting. I didn't watch last week's game against the Jaguars for obvious reasons. So, so expect Trevor Lawrence to probably play maybe a series or two in this coming game. So that'll be actually be a good test for our defense, who I assume would probably be playing a couple of their starters as well. So, but in terms of backups for this matchup, Nick Mullins is definitely one of those backups we got to look out for. He went 11 for 18, 89 yards, averaged 4.9 yards per throw, and had a touchdown with a 92.1 rating overall. So that's pretty good stuff. In terms of running backs, they have Tank Bigsby, who I think is a rookie this year. I could be wrong. And also Bayshul Tutton. Where did you get that name, bro? So both of them had 6 carries for 24 yards. The difference maker was that Tutton had 1 touchdown. So that's a key matchup to look out for as their running backs. And I would say Tank Bigsby is definitely one of those guys to look out for as well, because I remember him in college. He was actually really good in college, so he's a literal. Anyway, going to the receiving side of things, Jacksonville has played a lot of their receivers. Goodness gracious, how many receivers do they got? Let's say they got 20 of them? Good grief. Oh, God. Oh, wait, there's a couple of running backs here and there. Excuse me, but never mind. It just looks like a lot of them. So, but going back on topic, so the receivers, they have Trenton Irwin, they have Dorian Singer, Quinton Morris, Eli Panko, Joshua Cephas, LeQuint Allen Jr., and, well, I already mentioned the guy's name. Never mind. Tutton's in this list as well. So, the one with the most catches was Trenton Irwin. He had 48 yards total from all 4 receptions, 12.0 average per catch, and had 1 touchdown, his longest being 14 yards. So, probably someone we should definitely look out for in terms of defense for all side of things. So, with that being said, they have a bunch of others who were averaging about 25, 30 yards, not worth really mentioning. But Trenton Irwin is someone to look out for in this matchup for the Jaguars, so keep an eye out for that. So, also, Brian Thomas Jr. Really talented player from LSU. I know that for a fact. I'm sure you LSU fans would know that. I don't expect him to play much at all either. Might play like a drive or two with Trevor Lawrence as well. So I don't expect him to play much either. But still, that's someone that would be a worthy challenge for our young secondary at the moment. So if he does play, that's a good challenge. Because I really want to see what Jonas Sinker is made of, how he can guard a good receiver like Brian Thomas Jr. or Quincy Riley as well, if he can match up with him as well. That would be some good matchups to look at. So otherwise, they have Trenton Irwin for the Jaguars to look at too as well. So very good matchups to look at here. So now defensive wise, I'm not gonna get into it too much. Defense is what it is for the Jaguars. So, but let's go ahead and talk about some key points for the Saints. So who should we look out for in particular? Quarterback battle continuing, obviously. I expect Tyler Shough to be the starter for this game. If he's not, I would be a little surprised. But I think after how he performed this week, I would imagine he's going to have his turn with the first team starters against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I don't expect the Jaguars to play their first string defense. They might, they may not, I don't know. But let's just say that they do play their starting defense. This would be a good experience for Tyler Shough to acquire, because it would help him really read the defense as well, and on top of that, find a way to exploit their defense little by little. Also be out there commanding plays, give him the necessary NFL experience that he deserves. So, and on top of that, I really want to see how he does with the first team offense, because while I know probably not all of them are going to play, I would love to see him throw a couple balls to Rashid Shaheed. I would love to see him throw some more to Brandon Cooks. I know he played 1 or 2 drives last week. I also want to see and of course this depends if he's healthy or not. I would love to see him throw a ball to the Chris Olave. That would be nice to see. Also, to maybe do some dump offs and some screen passes to Alvin Kamara. Again, I'm just spitballing here. I don't really know who who's going to be starting this weekend. In fact, none of them might be starting for all that I know. I mean, other than the quarterback, because the quarterback's got to go out there and get some reps. So, but with that being said, the quarterback battle will still be a key matchup to look forward to in this matchup. So my prediction would be Tyler Shough will be the starting quarterback for this Sunday, followed by Spencer Rattler, and to back people up, Jake Haener. I would imagine Hunter Dekkers somehow gets thrown in that picture just to get him some reps, just to see if he can be competitive worthy for that third string backup job. So I would imagine, because they just re-signed him and all that, so I would imagine that he will eventually get some reps, right? I would hope so. But with that being said, the next key thing I want to look forward to in this matchup is the running back room. Now, I mentioned in my last video, we did not see a whole lot from the running backs this past Sunday because they literally couldn't do much of anything. I didn't see Kendra Miller do enough. I didn't see Clyde Edwards-Helaire do enough. Cam Riggins not enough, etc. I need to see more from this running back offense. So that's why I'm hoping this week we'll really get to see what these guys are made of. So that's another key matchup, and especially against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who had a relatively solid defense for the most part. I would double check that for myself because I'm pretty sure they had a solid defense, despite being pretty pathetic last season. But I would definitely say that's a good matchup for our running backs to encounter. So, and the other thing to follow up with this past post-game report, the O-line has been pitiful. It was pitiful the entire game, except for the first 3 drives where the entire starting offense was pretty much out there, except for 2 guys, which were literally Trevor Penning and Will Clapp. So I would say this: one key player I really want to look out for, and I mentioned this earlier in this video, is Torricelli Simpkins III. He has shown some nice promise that I really, really like. I saw some of his footage somewhere on Twitter, and just looking at his footage, he's really out there making sure that his quarterback does not get hit or get pressured. He actually did his job, and I was like, okay, this guy wants a starting spot, or at least this guy wants a roster spot in general. So that's somebody we should definitely keep our eyes on. I think he's number 68 on the team. I will double check that for certain. But that's somebody we should definitely look out for. Now, I know I might get a little flack for this or a little pushback, but I think we should really check out Dylan Randunz for a moment. Yes, I know. He had a relatively bad game last week, but I did take another look at his videos. There were a few good moments here and there. There were a few good moments. There were some moments where he made a good enough pass protection for Tyler Shough, but then there's some bad moments where he allowed that pressure to get around him, and that's what caused Tyler Shough to kind of panic and throw unnecessary throws or try to run around the pocket to avoid pressure. But I think that I think he shows a little promise. And I'm just hoping that maybe he just had a really bad day against the Chargers. And of course, I already mentioned this. Everybody was shaking. So those 2 guys on the offensive line in particular, I want to see stand out this week coming up. So can't wait for that. Now on defense, again, I already mentioned some key matchups on the secondary side of things. The key matchups on the defensive line in particular, I want to see. What I want to see is Khalil Diggs continue to dominate that defensive line, cause so much pressure, so many quarterback hurries, get a sack or 2, maybe strip the ball now and then. That's something I'm going to be looking out for. Khalil Diggs is a target player for me for this match. I want to see if he can generate that same amount of defensive pressure against Jacksonville coming up, who has, I would imagine, a better O-line than last season in particular. We shall see. Another player I want to keep my eyes out, and I've mentioned this several times, Danny Stutzman. Danny Stutzman showed a lot of versatility in that backfield for the for the defense side of things. He's shown that he can track that ball well, make those necessary tackles. I love every second of that. And this is a third one, even though this one will be critical for me. This is just for a critical point of view. Isaiah Foskey. Oh, and Isaiah Stallbird. Well, he's separate. Hold on, let me start that over. Isaiah Foskey, in particular, he's probably got maybe 2 more chances left to really prove himself that he can make this team. Because, as I mentioned in my previous video, this past Sunday, he just did not look good whatsoever. He looked terrible. So, he really needs to step it up this week, or he might be sitting on his couch for the rest of his career, but the rest of this season. Because I just don't see him making this team the way he played on Sunday. So that's why he's a matchup to look out for, to see if he sees what he made mistakes on and to improve on that against the Jaguars. Now, going to Isaiah Stallbird, that's a guy, I should have mentioned him earlier, but it's my fault. Talking too fast. But Isaiah Stallbird's another guy, I think he's a corner or a strong safety, whichever one he is. He's a guy to look out for because you just don't know when he's coming. He might be in that backfield already causing all sorts of pressure against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Or he might be out there disrupting passes left and right. He's a guy to look out for this coming matchup because he might just repeat that. I'm hoping this past Sunday wasn't a fluke whatsoever. So he's going to be another guy on defense I really want to look out for. And, of course, I already mentioned Jonas Sanker. I already mentioned Quincy Riley. If there's somebody else I'll mention, I'll throw them out there as well. But, another guy I want to, who's like an honorable mention, I want to see Vernon Broughton get some pressure in there. Because he's a guy we drafted like in the 4th or 5th round. I can't remember. But he's a third round. Excuse me. He's a third-round pick. He's a third-round pick from Texas that we got from this past draft, and I haven't seen too much of him, but there were a few plays I noticed where he got enough pressure on the ball. It wasn't consistent. I'm hoping that maybe he's going to do a little bit more this coming matchup. That's what I'm hoping for in this matchup here. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about my score prediction. There we go. So, this game, I think, will be a better step up for the Saints because we'll be home in the Dome. We have the advantage. Sure, it won't be like your typical crowd advantage like in the Dome during the regular season, but still, it's home in the Dome. You're finally back home with your home team and your home fan base screaming Who Dat and whatnot. I think we should this time win this game. I was wrong last week, obviously, but I think because we had the home field advantage, and I think because we have better playmakers at least on the backup side, I think, than the Jacksonville Jaguars do. I think we should win this game with a little higher score. I think we win 21-17. I'm keeping it close because usually it's pretty close with the Jacksonville Jaguars. At least last time it was. I can't remember last time we played the Jaguars in preseason. So, can't wait, y'all. And plus, yours truly is going to be there. So, I'll probably do a live video of my post-game reaction shortly afterwards while I'm driving home back to my house after the game. So, but real excited, y'all. Real excited. So, yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you haven't checked out my last video, which would be the post-game preview, which might be kind of pointless by now, but if you want to check that out anyway to get my overall report on that game, you can just go ahead and click on the video below or wherever it's available. So, if you want to check out my most controversial take so far, you can go ahead and click on the channel bio. You can find the link from there. I think you guys might get triggered over that, or at least some of you Shador fans out there. So, but yeah, hope you guys enjoy my content. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Follow me on all social media platforms. You got it, baby. Alright, gang, I'll talk to you guys later. Who dat, baby? Miami, already tamed the Wildcat. Second line into that